Hey, what's up, First Form Outdoors team? Hey, Greg right here, and I wanted to share with you guys some videos that I have already been doing for years, and that is on shooting tips that I share with hunters on how to be more accurate and how to be a more ethical hunter whenever you're out in the field. And we actually offer these tips whenever we're doing our long range shooting schools. And so I just wanted to share one of them with you guys, and it is three things that I share with hunters whenever they go out in the woods that they must absolutely pay attention to. So anyway, I just want to share this with you. Hope you guys are having a fantastic new year. It is actually December 31st. It is 9:20 a.m. or a.m. p.m. whenever I'm shooting this. This is how exciting my life is. I'm not doing anything for New Year's Eve. That's for amateurs in my opinion. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Hey everybody, Greg Ray here with Outdoor Solutions Long Range Shooting Schools, and I wanted to bring you all 3 tips that you all should try or that you must do before you go hunting this fall. Number 1, so I'm going to give you just a little bit of a scenario. So before hunting season, what does everybody do? You're supposed to go to the range and practice. Make sure that you've got a good zero, confirm your data. Most ranges you can get out to 200 yards. Some, if you're lucky, you can get out to 300 yards. With my 6.5 Creedmoor, I know that if I'm shooting out to 300 yards, if I've got an optic that has an elevation dial on it, I know that I can dial 4 minutes of angle, and that should be my center with a 6.5 Creedmoor. So I've confirmed I've got 3 really good hits at 300 yards. I'm good to go. So let my rifle cool down, I bag it up, and I'm ready for hunting season. I'm now out west and I'm chasing mule deer, and all of a sudden that mule deer pops up at 100 yards right in front of me. Chip shot, right? So all I have to do is put the crosshairs around that mule deer, and he's going to go down. So I get lined up on my mule deer, got him right in my crosshairs, 100 yards no problem. Squeeze one off. What happened? I'm about 4 minutes high. I shot right over the top of his back, or worse yet, I wounded him and he took off. What did I not do? I didn't set my elevation dial back to 0. That's one of the things that we preach at every one of our classes whenever they start getting out to distances and they have to dial. So starting at 200 yards, 300 yards, when they're done with their 5 rounds, every time all the way out to 1,000 yards, always set it back to 0, because that's the scenario that can happen, is that you forget and then you get excited, you put the crosshairs on an animal, you shoot, and you shoot right over the back, or like I said, worse yet, you wound one. So every time that you're done shooting, whether it's on the range or hunting, always turn your elevation dial back to 0. Tip number 2 that you absolutely must do, and this is probably the most common one that we see, is walking around when you're hunting with your optic on its highest magnification, especially if you've got an optic that goes up to like 24 power or 30 power or something along those lines. You can probably guess where I'm going with this and what's going to happen. So through the Tactacam FTS here, I'm just going to show you. Let's just say you're walking around and that mule deer pops up between 50 and 100 yards. Here's what it's going to look like to you. It's all you're going to see is brown. You're not going to know which end is which, where his vitals are, and if you end up squeezing the trigger anyway, a couple things are going to happen. 1, if you hit him, you're not going to know where your impact is. 2, if he doesn't drop right where he stood, you're not going to have any idea what direction he went. So instead, when you're walking around, look at the difference here. That's just half magnification, but if you walk around at the lowest setting, look how much bigger your field of view is. Now I can see the targets on either side. I can tell where the vitals of the animal is. More importantly, I can see my impact and which direction he took off in case I need a follow-up shot. So that's tip number 2. We've got one more to go. Now I am not going to go down the rabbit hole of parallax, and we'll actually do another video on that explaining what it is and why it's important. But for this video, we're just going to call it side focus and being in focus at different distances. So we'll use the same analogy. You went to the range and you're practicing at some longer distances. For parallax, typically it is a little bit longer distance than 300 yards where it's really effective and can make a difference. But let's say that you did max out your parallax. You were shooting out at the range at 700, 800 yards, and you left your parallax maxed all the way out again, we're back out west. That mule deer pops up in front of you and it's at 50 yards. Now, once again, through the Tactacam FTS, you can see that target right in front of me. And to me, it's blurry. And I can start adjusting my parallax, start backing it off to where it should be. And now you can actually read what's on that target, and it's nice and clear. So that is just another thing that you need to make sure that the settings are where they need to be for the hunting environment that you're in. So those are 3 things that I always check before I am going out into the hunting woods or out west, wherever it is, to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success, and also that I'm not going to wound an animal, which is really the most important thing. So hope you guys enjoyed these tips, and make sure that you stay tuned. We will go down the rabbit hole of parallax and tell you what it's all about.